Hi folks, I'm back at Dryburgh Abbey again today. Last time I was here I was only able to film it in portrait mode because that was all that my phone would allow me to do. So I've come back today, not just to refilm it, but to tell a wee story involving the monks and the Laird of Midrum and a man by the name of Thomas Dixon. But I'm going to take a full walk around as well. So I'll just do my usual and I'll let the boards tell the story of the place. As we see, it was founded in 1150 and the first time it was burnt down was in 1322, and I say the first time because there was a few times after that. So the monks of this place used to enjoy getting folks money, just the same as anybody else in life. It kept the wolves for the door. It kept this place open for the monks to be able to do their thing and live their monastic way of life. So quite often with people of wealth, they would befriend them, train them, set them up so that when they died they would leave the monks their lands, their money, everything like that in their will. So they'd set about doing this with the Laird of Midrum. They'd had him following them, come to prayer with them, all the rest of it for quite a few years of his life. And they sort of knew that the man was approaching the end of his days, so they sent two monks out to him after hearing that he was on his deathbed. The two monks set about coming to see Lord Midrum, and by the time they reached the Laird's home, they found it was too late. Laird Midrum had already died. Now, Laird Midrum had spent his last days on his own, so it wasn't known that he died as yet. The monks had actually discovered his dead body, so they set about heading back to the monastery here and tell the other brothers about his death. And they sat up all night and come up with a plan. And the plan was that hopefully they could find somebody who looked very similar to Laird Midrum. Now, they knew somebody, or one of the monks knew somebody that looked awfully like him. So they set out and brought Thomas Dixon back here to the monastery and told him the plan of replacing him with Laird Midrum on his deathbed, and told him that he would be very well rewarded for the job he was about to do. Now, Thomas happily agreed to do this. So immediately they set out for Laird Midrum's home. Laird Midrum's body was removed and Thomas was replaced Laird Midrum in his deathbed. And there was sheets put up around his bed, 4-poster bed you can imagine, so that nobody could actually see him. And he was dressed up with makeup so that he looked deathly for those who could make out a wee bit. And then witnesses were brought in and a lawyer, and the lawyer started to write down Laird Midrum's will, not knowing that it was Thomas on the deathbed and not Laird Midrum himself. Now there's stairs in there. I know you're not going to be able to see it, but they're going down underneath. I can see some daylight through there. So hopefully we'll be able to access it through here. Now, with the 4 witnesses surrounding, the 2 monks and the lawyer sitting writing down the will, Thomas proceeded to act just like he was Laird Midrum, and his words were, "I bequeath to my good friend Thomas Dixon." I think that's possibly where the stairs have come out, just there. And in the process he started to bequeath to him all his monies, all his lands, and everything that was of any value whatsoever in this world. Now, needless to say, the monks were absolutely shocked with the way they'd been tricked by Thomas. So obviously they couldn't show it, because if they showed it, then their reputation would have been destroyed in the area. So they managed to somehow or other creep a little bit closer to Thomas on the deathbed, and through the curtain they managed to pinch him, scratch him, do whatever they could to try and get him to change his mind or change his story without being noticed by the witnesses. Unfortunately, they were unable to do so, and because they were unable to do so, Thomas carried on. But Thomas was never that greedy. He once he'd left himself anything of true value in this world, he set about leaving worthless things to the monks, bequeathing them. And pardon me. He finished dictating Laird Midrums' will, and the lawyer got him to sign the deed, and he and the witnesses and the monks left Thomas, or Laird Midrum, as everybody thought he was, apart for the monks. Now the monks came straight back here, filled with fury, and they sat and discussed it, and they knew there's nothing they could say or do about this, because if their deeds had been found out, then they would be chased at the area at the very, very least. And one of the things they did before setting it to rest was basically they put Laird Midrum's body back, just to make everything seem as normal as possible. Now, Thomas, after that day, became a very rich man, and he set about living his life amazingly as possible. And whenever he's seen the monks, the anger he's seen in their eyes, in their faces, it couldn't help. He couldn't stop himself from grinning, knowing that he got one over on these blokes, these money hungry people, and because of them he was now living a life of luxury. And the monks, to the end of their days, not a single word could be said. They had to live with the fact that they'd been outsmarted by Thomas Dixon. So there we have the story of the monks of this place, Dryburgh Abbey, and Laird Midrum, and Thomas Dixon. So I'm just gonna finish off walking around here. I want to see as much as I can about around the place, and I hope you've enjoyed the wee tale of the monks. We shot these stone coffins. No child's coffin. And an adult's one. I assume that's where the head was. Or where it was meant to be, I should say. That there, it's no on the Abbey land anymore. There's an old dovecot. Don't know if I can get to it or not. It's not worth the risk. This barbed wire fence here is electrified, so I'm not going to try. Be a bit shocking. Cross in there. I'm not seeing any mason's marks. See if I can get up the stairs there to the tower. I'm going to a tower, it's not a tower, it's just where the stairs end. I don't know if it's still blocked off or not, but I'll try. I didn't come in here earlier because there was somebody in here. So, that tombstone there depicts Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Oh wow. Absolutely wow. You just imagine we're stood maybe here just now. Oh, scratched into the floor is a board used for playing medals or nine men's Morris, a popular game. It was played with counters, and I can't see it anywhere. It's possibly below the soil. Could that be it over there? No, nothing on there. I don't know why that's been barred off for protection. Right, let's see if I can get up these stairs. See if I can do a full 360 of the Abbey from above, if it's possible. Make that out on the grass in some sort of garden there, and I've no doubt whatsoever it's not for the time of the monks. It's possibly been done by Historic Scotland to make the place look a bit more lifelike, but obviously the expense of gardening and keeping it up has been too much, and I'm saying that, I'm only guessing. And there's a board showing that green inspired by school kids in 2025. Sorry, yes, spring 2025. And this is the way they're trying to have it come up. So I was totally wrong. Right, let's see if we can get up these stairs. Oh yes, access is available. So, Dryburgh Abbey from above. Now we're trying to get back down these stairs. Very tight stairs indeed. And very small ones. Another set there, but that's not worth climbing. Reason being is because it's been domed off. There I go though. Yep, domed off at the top. Such a shame. Some markings up there. See if I can zoom in. So there we have it, folks. We walk around Dryburgh Abbey. A story of the monks. Who knows? I might come back another day and tell the story of Field Marshal Earl Haig will be my side. the man who gave us the puppy. And Beamerside's maybe 2 miles, if even that, in that direction. Or I might come back and tell some of the stories of Walter Scott, who lies at rest just here with his family. Don't know, maybe one day. But for now, I thank you for watching, and hopefully this video hasn't bored you. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.